to be their footstool, so, or
It's
doormat.
okay. I'm glad that, because the agent up in Phoenix, she's another PC, so at least we were able to secure the buy side for him up in Phoenix. So, and she's like, I haven't even told Ellen yet. I'm afraid to talk to her. I don't want her to be upset. I was like, okay, well, Ellen already knows, because as soon as you told me, I texted her. I know everything, even with your deal. I knew everything about it. I was playing coy, but no. Well, that was a good way to start off the day, is having that frame of mind. So one situation I think that we can script around today, I want to talk about, is who here has not done a deal yet? Okay, Tess, so you're going to be a little lost on this. You and Jason can hang out, just learn. This is the most important part of it. How long do we have for inspections?
10 days.
10 days,
Or-
right?
Depends on what you put in the
In
contract.
the contract.
Not a non-molested contract, just a boilerplate contract.
10 days.
10 days. What happens after that 10-day period? Are we allowed to do more inspections?
Absolutely. You just can't you can ask the seller to do stuff, but they don't have to do anything.
So here's the point.
You'd have to ask for an extension if you're going to continue to do inspections.
So if you're in the Binzer period and you submit a Binzer period ended, period.
Right.
Which is, okay. Now they got 5 days for the buyer's response. And then 5 days after that, decide if the buyer wants to move forward. So seller's response and buyer's response. Let me tell you, you're the buyer's agent. You've got a client that wants to buy a house cash. You have not extended the Binzer period. You cannot get a roof inspector out there until day 10 of your inspection period. What do you tell the agent that you're working with, and what do you tell your client?
They won't extend the Binzer.
Yeah, you can ask to extend. Oh, they won't extend it. The seller will not.
They refuse to extend it. I say you go find a new roofer.
That's what I was just thinking. I'd find another roofer.
I don't care if it's Joe Schmo. Just get someone up on that roof and say, does it look like it's going to hold weight?
I usually call more than one roofer anyways.
Yeah.
Smart. That's what the situation is.
Call 2 or 3.
As a buyer's agent, you should have multiple bullets in the gun, if you will. Going to and having that,
Well, and
we got one roofer maybe after Friday.
And if you know it's summertime, roofers are busy. But if you have a buyer that's hot to trot and is going to be buying something, you need to be talking to your roofers already and saying, hey, I'm going to need this, sometime this next week. What do you have available? I don't care if it's after hours, I'll pay you extra or whatever. You just get them out there and make the deal work.
So
You pull the rabbit out of the freaking hat.
Is push on the vendor to give you some support. I like it. I also like them purple shirts out there, guys. Happy Purple Shirt Tuesday.
Purple shirt.
Anybody doing the bold pivot? Sorry, it's a squirrel moment.
Almost everyone on this call is doing Ignite.
I'm doing
That's
both
what I thought.
again. Are you?
Yeah, doing bold? Mara? Okay.
Are you guys
Cool.
signed up for David's accountability corner or whatever it is?
I did not have time to sign up for that. I had 2 clients join yesterday, wrote a contract. I just had an old client call this morning to say his sister's selling her house. So it's been a busy couple of days.
No, not my style.
Bold pivot's not your style?
No, David accountability coaching is not my style. And I'll just say that nicely.
That's the thing, is that there's different styles out there. Different personalities are gonna.
Exactly. I love David.
Nothing wrong with it.
But I don't want him to be my coach. I'd rather somebody else. So here I am.
Here we are.
Dan, do you know who Anthony Ascar? Did I get it right?
Anthony Azar?
Azar, sorry. I'm thinking everyone knows who he is, right?
I've never met him. I just know whom he is.
So
I've met him several times.
We had him on our Zoom call at 9:15 yesterday. So he's very interesting, very smart.
Yeah, from understanding, man.
Yeah, he was really good, actually. I mean, you know what it was nice is he was just very approachable.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was good.
That's
Good
what this
stuff.
business is all about, is being able to be approached.
All right, so back to Benzer and extensions and roofers. Sorry, I
Oh.
squirreled.
Okay. We
You
squirreled
took us
for you.
with ya.
We're
So-
realtors, right? We squirrel.
Exactly. How would we save the deal? As a buyer's agent, we're going to flip the script on the seller side. How would we save the deal as a buyer's agent to still protect the financial, well-being of our client?
As the seller's agent
As a
on
buyer's
that
agent.
deal, as a buyer agent.
Yeah. So all you know is the general inspector says the roof looks good, no issues. You still have a roofer coming out,
But on the 10th day.
but on the 10th day, with no guarantee of getting a report back.
You go to the inspection yourself and you talk to him before he writes it up and just go, okay, I need to know right now. Are we good? Are we bad?
There we go. So you'd go to the inspection, make sure you get the information, and still submit the Binzer at the 11th hour.
Yep. And if there's anything wrong with the roof, basically saying, basically getting a verbal from the guy saying, hey, there are roof issues. This is what they are. I can give you a quote tomorrow. And then you just say, hey, these are the roof issues. My roofer will give you the inspection tomorrow, but these are the roof issues. We need $5,000 to fix the roof.
And on the 10th day, you have until 11:59 p.m. to deliver that Binzer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, let me tell you what this agent did. They submitted a Binzer on day 6, even though the inspection was on day 10, that said seller will have roof inspected and perform all repairs needed.
Okay. End of deal.
Actually, I just got the text right now from one of our agents that they canceled the deal.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure.
we're the seller side, which is okay. So, but that's the thing. And as the seller's agent that gets that Binzer, how do you talk to your agent or your client about it? And how do you talk to the other agent? What's your first thoughts when you hear that?
Well, one, why did the guy turn in a Benzer on the 6th day?
So early, just give it the 10
I mean,
days.
if it's a cash deal, I mean, was there something on the buyer's bonnet to get it done faster or something? I don't know.
Yeah,
That doesn't make any sense.
Inspections.
Sounds like buyer's agent did not speak with the seller's agent enough to really get the picture of what's going on or what concerns might be, and how would they
Or the
handle this?
buyer-
How would they handle that?
Or the buyer's agent pissed off the seller's agent early on and it wasn't going to be a good deal from the beginning. But both people need to get over themselves and do what's best for their client.
Yeah, no egos in real estate, guys. You can have egos on Facebook and leave them out of the deals.
Yeah.
When it
I don't
comes to that
understand.
conversation,
I mean, I guess I don't understand why the seller's agent didn't extend it like by 1 day or something, but because the Benzer had already been submitted,
that's
Yeah.
why
Benzer period's over. That's
the Binzer was submitted and they requested for an extension at the same time. And it was like,
that
That's not
doesn't
how it
make
works.
sense.
Agent who
No.
doesn't know what they're doing.
That's what I was going to say earlier. It sounds like it wasn't trained.
yeah, the buyer's agent
Well, and
absolutely did not know what they were doing.
I know as a listing agent, it would be very hard for me to want to teach a buyer's agent on how to do their job. But I mean, honestly, it's a teaching moment saying, hey, you just need to submit the extension, not the Benzer right now, and, wait till you get your roof inspection.
I mean, you could take the high road and call the agent and go, are you sure this is what you want to submit?
Because we will
technically,
not
by
accept
law,
it.
The moment you got it by email, the moment you got
Yeah.
it was submitted.
So,
Yeah,
There's
I
no
mean-
gray zone there.
Yeah. So again, why are you submitting a Binzer at the same time you're requesting an extension? The extension has to be dealt with before you're putting two together at once that you shouldn't be. One's ahead of the other.
Bet you they'll never do that again. It was a major learning experience.
So what would you say to your seller to help ease tensions on the sell side and still keep the deal together, knowing now the roof is a point of contention because they have an inspection that hasn't happened yet, so they have this impending fear that there's going to be an issue?
I think explain the situation and say, what would you like to do?
Okay, I'm your seller.
No,
Mr. Seller,
Binzer?
according to your spuds, there's not a roof issue, so I don't think you have any problems. Let's get this house back on the market and get it sold again. I mean, it sold once, it'll sell again. If you feel like there are issues, then let's get an inspector up there and let's, you know, hit it before someone else comes back again. But, you know, this was a fluke. I mean, this was an uneducated buyer's agent that didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Yeah, which is throwing a red flag into the picture here that we need to consider.
The Benzer's probably the most important thing we negotiate, wouldn't you say, Guy? And our words really matter. So people who are new, I always try to talk about what we're asking for, because you want to know what's a deal killer and what isn't, right? You want to know that from your buyer and you want to know that from your seller. So talking to the other side before you put it all down in writing, because you only have that one chance for the buyer to say yes or no at the end, and we want to get a yes. So
Let's script on that, Ms. Mara. You want to be the buyer's agent or seller's agent?
whichever, buyer's agent's fine, I guess.
All right, Ms. Mara's buyer's agent. Who wants to be my seller's agent? Teresa, thank you so much for volunteering. That's nice of you.
You're welcome.
I wish it.
I give it 3 seconds before I choose somebody. You guys know that.
She does a lot. Okay, so I just had one, and so my buyers want to, you know, Miss Seller's agent, my buyers want to ask for, I realize they want to ask for about 12 things, and I've warned them that that's a lot of things to ask for. Normally we try to keep it to 3 or 4, but a lot of these are very small. And so we know that the roof is an issue, and what was the other one? I need to make one. Oh, and the termite treatment. So, you know, they really need to have those two, and we need to know if that's gonna, you know, fly with your sellers, and then, you know, if they could, you know, cover a few of these other smaller items. I think you guys said that termites are already under warranty, right? So really, we're really talking about the roof being the major expense, and our bid came in at about $2,600.
Yeah, the termite is under warranty, so that's not an issue. And some of the smaller items you're talking about, yeah, my sellers are willing to do that.
So the issue with the roof is they found about 8 soft spots up there, and so you know, even though it's not leaking now, they know the roof is kind of beyond its, you know, life. So you know, we've had a couple roofers out to give us a couple bids, and they all agree it needs to be, parts of it need to be replaced. So
Okay, let me talk with my clients and see. I believe we can work with that, especially since you've already got 2 different bids.
yeah, and I've sent those over to you so they can look at what they said, the general inspector plus the 2 roofers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, I actually already sent that over, and they're looking at everything, and I'm going to get back with them next 10 minutes or so, and then I'll give you a call back and go from there. But looks
Okay.
like you do due diligence, you know, looking at the situation. And
Yeah, and hopefully they can see there's still a lot more they could have asked for but didn't, you know, so just hopefully they'll understand. Yeah, everybody feels like now that they're paying full, you know, top price, right? So they really want things to be fixed. So appreciate you working on that.
all right, no problem. All right.
Thank you. Talk to you later.
Simple conversations. Don't give away too much information. The one thing that was scary is you're talking about the soft spots in the roof and all that stuff.
I just figured I'd throw out it's really bad.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to show up in the reports too.
And then it's always good to share those inspection reports like right away, because they can start reading them and going, oh my gosh, look at all this stuff they found. And then when you come back with your list, and hopefully it's much shorter, and you go, look, see, we didn't ask for so much.
And actually, per the contract, as soon as you get the reports, you're supposed to be sending them off anyways. But I like to, and I've told the other agents this, send the reports as soon as you get them, because it creates a sweat factor. Oh God, there's 75 pages.
I mean, say that again, Dan, you glitched a little bit.
So per the contract, you have to send the reports as soon as you get them. Some agents wait to get them all at once and then send them, or wait to the Benzer and send them, but you have to send them as soon as you get them. I like to send them as soon as I have them, even if they come one at a time, just because they create a sweat factor where you're like, oh crap, there's 75 items on this. What are they going to, and then you usually get a seller's agent that'll call you up and say, okay, so we got the reports. What's important to your seller, or to your buyers?
Yeah.
And that's easiest conversation right there. So, you know, Mara, I appreciate the call and thank you for asking. That's a great question. I'm actually going to go over all the reports with my buyers here as soon as I get the others in. I'm sending them to you as soon as I get them. I do know that during the inspection, they had some concern with the roof and the termites, and the HVAC system was seeming a little hanky, but we're still waiting for all those reports back, and I'll communicate with you before I actually send out that Binzer.
Okay, sounds good.
You notice how I kind of put the pillars there? I'm not saying that I'm going to ask for the HVAC or the roof or the termites, and just so
Little pieces.
they're going to see in the report, AC wouldn't turn on, roof has a hole in it, and I kind of made it seem like, it's, you know,
A little wonky. Also, as a seller,
I'm not a professional. I don't know what's wrong with it. Like,
as a seller's agent, make sure you're getting those receipts from your vendors. Sometimes that can be a real task to corral those. We're supposed to present receipts at least 3 days before closing that all the repairs have been done.
you've got to produce proof. If you have visual
If it
or
weren't
receipt,
receipt, you can take a picture, right? If the seller wants to fix it themselves.
yeah, it's just any kind of proof that you can prove it's done. As long as it's done in a workmanlike manner.
On a
People get tripped over Benzers all the time, guys. So I think it's super important to have that call with the other agent. So you need to be scripted with that call. You know how I talk. It's more of how you say things, not what you say. We talk about that all the time. Not important how you say it or what you say. It's how you say it. Become friendly. Hey, Miss Angela, it's Big Dan Caldwell over here at Keller Williams. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. Hopefully I caught you at a good time. Just got done with the home inspection. I should have the reports here shortly. As soon as I get them, I'm going to send them over to you. Just wanted to talk about some of the key items that were pointed out while we were there. Do you got a minute?
Sure.
Okay. I don't know if you've been in the house lately. They had this beam across the kitchen. You can see termites in it. That might be a concern. The fact that there's an unofficial skylight in the bathroom was kind of an issue.
I did notice the termites.
Hole in
Yeah.
the roof, yeah. And do you happen to know when the last time the HVAC system was actually installed in the house?
It is at least, I do believe she told me it was 10 years old. That's when it was installed. 10
Okay.
years.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it seems to have been disconnected. So I don't know if there was something that went on there. Maybe you can talk to your sellers and find out. It
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
turn
can
on during the
definitely ask them.
inspection. So
I can ask them.
you can get a lot of information just by being friendly and asking questions like that. Not, hey, Angela, it's Dan over at Keller Williams. We just got done with the inspection. The roof is jacked. The AC sucks. There's termites in the kitchen. And there's a hole in the kitchen, like in the ground where the fridge used to be. I think that's where the fridge fell through. Yeah, there's a lot wrong. There's just a ton wrong.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have anywhere to go with that conversation?
No, you're just stuck in the hole. You just went down the rabbit hole into a negative rabbit hole.
Yeah, you're going to call your seller and be like, hey, I just got a call about the inspections. It went bad. It went real bad. We're expecting the worst. But if you have a friendly conversation, then it opens the door. I may not be willing to negotiate any of the terms or anything at all that we're talking about, but I'm having that open communication with the other agent saying, listen, Larry, this is what we saw. This is what was going on. And confirm with them, have you been in the house lately? Some listing agents put a sign in the ground, never show up again. Been on the market for 6 years. Don't even know that the neighbors have moved in and started growing a rainforest.
This is another extension of that setting expectations thing, but doing so, light-footed, if you will, and hey, here's what we're seeing. Discuss. Here's the stuff. Talk to your sellers, and then we'll get back with it later. But this is another one of those things of almost. These are expectations. We know things are going to be wrong in the house. Everybody knows there's going to be things wrong in the house. And we all know that the inspectors do everything they can to find everything they can. So there's your 72 item list. But in the case of the last listing that I had, our 55 item list pared down to 4 items.
And setting that expectation on both sides. So when you have that buyer to say, hey, this is not the time to nitpick the home, but to ask for major, structural, plumbing, electrical, safety issues, and really try to talk to them about that ahead of time. And like Larry said, then warn the seller to, hey, they're going to find stuff wrong. Just be prepared for that.
Yeah, my sellers thought that the house was fine. They worked on it for 5 months, renovating it, fixing everything, installing new plugs, all that kind of stuff. They're like, house is perfect now. We're ready to put it on the market. The inspector comes back with 55 items on the list. And they're like, you know,
But for a higher end home, I always recommend a pre-inspection and that.
yeah, there's that too. But you know, when they got done and we're at that point, okay, we're ready to list the house. I said to them, we won't know what else is going on with this house or how an inspector is going to look at this house until they do the report. But do know that we have that hurdle to jump, and we're going to have to deal with whatever comes back in that report. And they're like, oh, well, there's nothing wrong with the house. Yeah, 55 items later. But I had that conversation with them. So when it came, it was like, remember I said we have the inspection to get through as well and whatever for the Binzers. So, you know, it made it easier dealing with it when the reality came. That was the whole point. So like you set expectations when you're doing the listing with your clients, you know, or, you know, your sellers when you're making offers. It's also setting the expectations, you know, with the sellers for that stage, the Binzer stage of the process.
So you're telling
as
me
the seller's agent,
Go ahead, Darn.
as the seller's agent, when you give me the friendly call and I come back friendly with the, so Dan, I so appreciate you giving me the call about the inspection. When your buyers went through, did they not notice that the refrigerator had fallen through the floor and there were termites? Because my sellers are pretty sure they're doing a as is kind of sale there.
Well, Dory, I appreciate the question. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We did notice some of the key features, like the fridge was missing, but we also aligned that out in the contract. I just didn't know if your sellers knew that they had a structural flaw. The other items were the things that we couldn't see upon like our first walk through the house. That's why we had the inspectors come through and do so.
Yeah.
So just like any house in Arizona, it is
right, absolutely.
We have to look out for the safety and security of our clients, just like you as well.
Yeah. And I think, I think that we can definitely look at some of these things and go from there. I just wanted to make sure that, your buyers did see some of the issues when they did their first tour of the house. So
oh, absolutely. My buyers
thanks for calling and we'll talk soon.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I love this question. We have a difficult negotiation on Binzers. What's the first line of our belief system?
Win-win.
How do we turn that into a question that starts a conversation?
What can we do?
You mean like, how can we,
Work
fix this to work together? Hey, I like to work together. Can't wait for a smooth transaction.
Right? Even simpler than that, Larry. How do we make this a win-win?
Well, let's talk about what's going on and find the ways to solve them.
Right? It's that simple. Like you feel like you're still like, well, and Robin had this on her house. Well, it looks like looks like we're dead in the water. Looks like we're dead in the water. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Dead in the water. Deal's dead in the
I
water.
tried saying, how can we make this a win-win? And he's like, well, unless you can do $10,000 more, we're dead in the water.
Yeah, we tried. I mean, we still swung for the fences, but we had to get our clients to move up a little bit. Sometimes you have to. But you got to know where their dead stop is. Don't just instantly cower down to a firm-lipped agent. Marcy Long calls you up and says, nope, not doing a thing. Okay, that's fine. Marcy, how do we make this a win-win? Because some agents are waiting for you to say something so they can lock horns with you. I'm going to show them how good I am at beating up other agents. Okay. It's all about how you handle that stone wall. And that question, it melts it a lot.
I actually said to one agent that was doing that, I said, well, I think I can get my folks on my side to move a little bit, but why don't you go back and talk to your clients again? Let them know that we're trying to cross a bridge here and take a second look at what the possibilities might be. We're this far into the deal. We've got a contract here. Our job is to make the contract work. So let's work together. Let's see if there's a bridge. Please talk to your clients and let them know we're not that far apart.
I've already talked to my clients, Larry. If your clients want to cross the bridge, you know where the house is at.
You know what? Talk to them again. Because again, bring up the fact that we're close here. We're just not that far apart. We're only talking about a couple of $1,000s at this point. My folks are willing to move. I'm asking you to please have another conversation with your seller, because why would we both want to lose this deal?
Yeah, my seller's not willing to lose the deal, but they also know that the market the house correctly. And if your buyers are willing to move, it's just a few $1,000s, Larry. Let's make it happen. Are your buyers willing to walk away from just a few $1,000s?
Are yours?
Are yours?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
So,
You want to start all over again?
You know
How
the
do we
market
make this
is.
win-win? How do we
Yeah,
make this win-win?
yeah.
You tell me.
Do you really want to, perfect. Do you really want to start all over again at this point? You're going to put the house back on the market. Your folks are going to end up paying another mortgage payment. You know the deal.
Oh, absolutely
Talk
know
to
the deal,
them.
Larry.
Yeah, we'll talk
The
to them.
market, the market's in my favor here. We marketed the house right. We got offers right away. We accepted yours. It was the best offer, most aggressive. So you know where our stance was. We haven't changed it. If your buyers are willing to buy the house, let's make the deal happen. You know my terms.
Okay, I'm stuck on that.
Say the question.
How do you make it a win-win?
When you say the words, Larry, go back and talk to your clients. I've already talked to mine. Go talk to yours. It's still us and them. It's very much us and them.
That's true. Yeah.
But when you change it to, I get that, Dan. I completely understand that. How do we make this a win-win? There's a key term in there. 2-letter words. Sounds like a lot of fun.
We.
How do we make this a win-win? Now you have subconsciously aligned yourself with that stiff-lipped agent. Do you think if I dig my heels in the sand, if I dig my heels in the sand, you can unroot me?
Not really.
Absolutely not, because you are fighting against me. But if you come put your heels in the sand next to me and we start talking, we start, realizing we're in this together. A lot of agents don't see it that way. They see it as a push-pull. They see it as conflict. Like, bring it, baby. I'm ready for this. Been in the car business 15 years. I'm ready for this. Let's do this. But no, the moment you stop all that, you're like, listen, Larry, it's been a great transaction so far. You're a hell of an agent. You're really supporting your financial duties here, and I think you're doing a great job for your clients. How do we make this a win-win?
And what about the line about, if it were something major that they found in the inspection that the seller's going to have to disclose this to any future buyer?
Oh, I love that.
That's a little bit hard hitting, but sometimes it can make a difference.
I try not to bring out the sledgehammer until you're ready to make that deal either go through the hole or destroy it completely.
Yeah.
But I do love that. Larry, I appreciate that. I know that your buyers have moved a little bit. We're a couple $1,000s away. If we can't spread that few grand, it looks like we're dead in the water. You'd be like, well, you're right, Dan. It does look like we're dead in the water. If we can't make this deal work, we have you guys have discovery on those new items. You're gonna have to update the SPDS, and it may create another issue for you guys to go back on the market. I'll see what I can do with mine if you want to talk to yours, but how do we make this a win-win?
Much better.
Notice how I'm layering on the BS, and then it's like, well, how can we make this a win-win? Because when I walk away, this large mound of BS is going to hit you and create havoc in your life for a listing agent. You go back on the market, do all this crap, update the SPDS, because now we have proof of all this, and then we can move on. But it's always that question, how do we make this a win-win? Even though how much negative I throw at it, how do I make it a win-win changes the tonality of the conversation instantly.
Well, this just seems huge right now because people feel like they're paying top dollar and they're asking for some extreme benzers. Like one fell out last week, not mine. The guy said, they asked for $80,000 to update the kitchen. I'm like, oh, interesting. They wanted to pay for their remodel. We're getting some crazy stuff right now. So.
Crazy market requires us to be a little bit more grounded. So I appreciate every one of you. Thank you for running late with me.
Thank you.
We tend to do that. If you're on Ignite, it starts up here in 25 minutes with David G. Jones himself. Those of you doing Bold Pivot, go do Bold Pivot. Pivot yourself into a better life. And if you need me, call me. Happy Purple Shirt Tuesday.